Hey, good people, welcome to the Purple Ladder. And today we're going to look at Dirty Mind album. And we're going to look and we're going to review it. So stick with me today. I'm going to take you on this ride and we're going to review Dirty Mind, the first great Prince album. Yes, sir. All right, Dirty Mind. Let's get a little info and information. Dirty Mind is the third album by American recording artist Prince. It was released October 8, 1980 by Warner Brothers Records. As the follow-up to his self-titled second album, Prince was platinum. Produced and arranged and composed mainly by Prince in his home studio in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The album debuted at number 63 on the U.S. Billboard 200, peaking at number 45 and earned a widespread acclaim from music critics. On June 6, 1984, it was certified gold by the RIAA. Yes, sir. This was the album that really had the persona, the Prince persona, the sex persona, and it changed him. It changed everything. He was aiming for a new wave punk type album, trying to get into the crossover field, and this was the album that started. At first, Warner didn't really want this release because it sounded more like a demo, but I think he got his way, it got released and it got critical acclaim, mainly with Rolling Stone giving 5 stars or 4 out of 5 stars, whatever. This will help. This will set him on a path to creativity, and we know where it goes from here. So let me take a look. Let's look at some of the composition and critical reception. Dirty Mind was mainly recorded in Prince's home studio throughout 1980, and several of the songs were cut in one night, giving them a sparse, demo-like quality. Yes, the title track was released as a single and described as a robotic funk, all-music, Stephen Thomas Erlewine. That's what he said. While When You Were Mine, notably covered by Cyndi Lauper on her album She's So Unusual, pure new wave pop. Yes, Do It All Night in Head, sexually explicit songs about a chance meeting with a bride-to-be and seducing her with oral sex. Yeah, this is the Prince persona. Contains sultry funk, Got a Broken Heart Again. The only ballad on the record features soulful crooning and rock-influenced sister. Describe incest between the song's protagonist and his older sibling. Incest is everything set to be. That's one line quote. Uptown and Party All Night, Uptown and Party Up are relentless dance jams, according to Erlewine. The former became a top 5 hit on Billboard dance and R&B charts in the late 1980s, and the latter was performed on Saturday Night Live on February 21st, 1981. Yes. A little quote on Party Up, a little info. That's Mars Day song. And Prince, we'll get into that sometime, but we know the exchange. Give me Party Up, I'll give you either 10 grand or a band. He took the band. Okay, that's critical reception. The album received critical acclaim, according to Ken Tucker from Rolling Stone. Prince's first 2 collections established him as a doe-eyed romantic. Nothing could have prepared us for liberating lewdness of Dirty Mind. Dirty Mind jokes with unsettling tensions that arises from rubbing complex erotic wordplay against clean, simple melodies. Across the electric surface glides Prince, graceful quaver, tossing off lyrics with an exhilarating breathlessness. Wow. He takes the sweet romanticism of Smokey Robinson and combines it with a powerful Vulgate poetry of Richard Pryor. The result is cool music dealing with hot emotion. At its best, Dirty Mind is positively filthy. Stephen Thomas Erlewine from AllMusic described the album as stunning. audacious, a mind game, funk, new wave, R&B, pop, all mind game, funk, new wave, pop, fueled by grittiness, salacious sex, grittingly salacious sex, and the desire to shock, and that is set to style for the much of urban soul, funk, and early 80s. According to New Rolling Stones album guide 2004, Dirty Mind remains one of the most radical 180-degree turns in pop music. Robert Hilburn of the Los Angeles Times described the music from the album as confidence and highly danceable blend of post-disco funk and tasty hardline rock. Prince songwriting contains prominent sexual lyrics. Guitars of Blender characterize its songs as confessions of sex junkie with new wave funk. Pitchfork ranked Dirty Mind number 87 on its top 100 albums of the 1980s. I would have gave it a higher. Stant magazine listed the album as number 53 on its best albums of the 1980 list. In 2003, the album was ranked number 204 on Rolling Stone's list of 500 greatest albums and 206 in 2012 Revived list, the same magazine that ranked it at number 18 on its list of 100 greatest albums of the 80s. Well, it's Prince's first great album. So what we're going to do, we're going to get into the songs. And like I always do, I rate them, which one is the best. Later on, I'll do a countdown and pick my best songs. I don't know if it's going to be 1 through 9 or 1 through 5, but work with me here. I'm going to give you a track listing and some of the greatest songs on the album. The first song is Dirty Mind. Dirty Mind, Prince and Dr. Fink. Yes, Dr. Fink plays his ass off with keyboards on this, man, and this is great. A great song. I like it. Always liked it when I was young, but it's not one of my favorites on the album, but it's a great song. It really has that new wave funk style. Like I say, first time I ever heard Dirty Mind, I tell you, I saw it in the movie The Wildlife with Chris Penn, 1984. I heard Dirty Mind. Then I started rediscovering the old Prince catalog. Some of them that I didn't hear, because I heard I Want to Be Your Lover in 1979. But I started revising his catalog, started listening to his catalog a lot. And this Dirty Mind was one of the first. And I'll rate it, like I said, I give it a 6 on my ratings from 1 through 10. When You Were Mine, my favorite song on the entire album. Wow, this is new wave punk to a T. The guitar riff to his vocals, you can't get no better than that. You talk about a threesome, a great subject. And the lyrics is just off the chain with him talking about used to wear all my clothes, things like that, sleeping in between the two of us. I love that. This get a 10 all the way, 10 plus. When You Were Mine, great track. If you hadn't heard it, go listen to it. Do It All Night. I love this song. Do It All Night. Do It All Night is so funky. If you start at the 80s, especially in 1980, you would still get a 70s vibe. And this was still had a 70s vibe, up-tempo, funk disco type, and really danceable. And with Prince lyrics and his vocal style at that time with falsetto, Smokey Robinson type, excuse me, you never go wrong with Do It All Night. I get Do It All Night. It's one of my favorite songs on the album. I give it a 9. I love it. Got a Broken Heart Again. Bluesy ballad. Love this song. The knock I have is too short, but that's how it was back then. But hey, Great track, great tune, great vocals. I give it an 8 because you can never go wrong with a Prince ballad. And basically, this is the only ballad you get on this album because this album is full of punk, funk, new wave. And that's the first side. Let's go to the second side. Oh, my second best song on the album is Uptown. Uptown is a song that I fell in love with early on, in the 80s. And I still love it today. Uptown, it's like an anthem, a Minneapolis anthem. And it's just a great song. The bass and the guitar steals it. I think Andre Simone did the bass on this, and he might have contributed, but still, this is a great track. I love the video. I love the video, and what can you go wrong? You talking about white, black, Puerto Rican, everybody's just a freaking good times are rolling. Man, I love that line. I give it a 10. And it gets a 10 all day. Great track. It's still relevant today. Let's get controversial. Head. This is really one of the first big controversial song Prince had. You can say Dirty Mind, but this is it. Head is a funk detour. It's a funk display that's talking about oral sex. Hey, brothers wasn't into oral sex back then. Brothers wouldn't admit going down on women. We just wasn't into that. But Prince made it cool for brothers to get into it. I think the white boys was doing it, but the brothers couldn't handle this one. So Head is funky, all day, all night. I never listened to it a lot back then. I listened to it later, like in the 90s. I like the track. It's not one of my personal favorites, but, I give it a 9. I give it a 9 because it's just that damn good, far as being a track. And he took a taboo conversation. Sister, love this track. Very, very controversial. Incest. Basically, I think Prince said it was inspired by his sister, older sister. And when he lived with in New York, I'm not going to get into a lot of that story, but I think that was the inspiration for this song. This is about pure incest and a taboo conversation in the black community. But this was what was going on. Things happen. Great, great track. Great track. Real funky, short. One of the shortest songs on the album. And I give it a 9 because it's that good. So we get to the finale, Party Up. Party Up is funky. I didn't listen to his track a lot back then, but I listened to it a lot in the 2000s. This is a funky, funky, funky track. Great song Mars Day wrote. That's why Prince wanted this song, because it was funky. It was the first basically political song Prince really had, political charge. You can say Uptown had a more social issue, not more political, but more social. But this is Party Up to the end that you see that it's going to go on into the Controversy album. And Party Up is perfect. Perfect song. Perfect written song. The instruments is just dead on. And as you see, Morris Day gets a credit. And the performance on Saturday Night Live is off the chain. Man, you got the party down, man. Man, what? I can't sing, but man, this make you want to sing. Revolutionary rock and roll. Yes, yes. So, yeah, I give this a 10. You rate I rate all these songs high because it's a great album. Overall, the album gets a 10. Uh, my first 10 for Prince because it is such a great, great album. It's such a great critical album. What he did, the instruments, and the subject that he wrote. And the album is Dirty Mind. That's what he talked about. You have a dirty mind. And these songs really compile great with the album. So all day this album gets a 10. And this is one of Prince's greatest albums. Not the greatest, but it's in his top 10. So I thank you for going on this journey with me, reviewing Prince.Dirty Mind album. Stay tuned to the Purple Ladder. We're going to have more to come. So, like I always do, I leave you words with peace. God bless. Thank you. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Peace.